What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, Not Your Average Sports Guys. I got myself here, Derek. Got Jimmy here too.
Up.
And we're going to be talking about college football. We're going to be doing some college football predictions, if you can't tell by our shirts. We're going to give you kind of the lowdown. He's got his Wisconsin on, I got Oregon. And we're going to start talking about our top four college football playoff. We're going to talk about national championship game and then ultimately our national champion. Then we're going to run through the conferences, Big Four conferences, run through conference winners, anything we got there. And we're going to run through the Heisman, who we think is going to win the Heisman. And then we're going to go into kind of our best bets. So stay tuned for all that. We've got some good stuff. Yeah, ready to get started.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna start with the top four. Derek, give me your top four college football. Who's making the playoffs?
My top four, I got Alabama, shocker, Ohio State, Georgia, and then lastly I got Notre Dame.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And yeah, I got Notre Dame because I think that they've recruited very well. They still got a really good defense. They reloaded on defense, even though they've had some draft picks in the past couple years. And Notre Dame has a pretty favorable schedule, so they do have Ohio State opening weekend. I do think that's a loss because Ohio State doesn't seem to want to play non-conference games away from home, but that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
And no, I do think that Notre Dame has a really good chance because there are only two semi-competitive games the rest of the year: Clemson and USC, and I feel like they can win at least one, if not both. And I do think that they will win both.
Okay, so you got which who do you have for your winner though for the whole thing? Who's your 2022 college football championship
Yeah,
winner?
so the whole thing, I got Bama against Ohio State
Okay.
in the championship game, and then I got Ohio State winning. They just got firepower on offense. I don't think Bama's defense can hold up against it. Their secondary, they can't go against Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming. I don't think that they can compete with those guys. I think offense wins the day there.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, a little different. So my top four, I got for the number one seed, Alabama. I think they just go straight undefeated. They run right through the SEC. Even Georgia, I see no problems there. Number two, I got Ohio State. C.J. Stroud, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. That connection right there is the two seed. There's no way anyone in the Big Ten. Unfortunately, as a Wisconsinite Badger fan, I do not see us beating Ohio State. Number three, I got Georgia. I know they had about 6 first-round picks last year in the NFL draft, but I still think that they're an elite team. And then number four, you have Notre Dame. I refuse to pick a team that's not in a conference. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with what I personally think is a little bit of a sleeper. I don't think they're really that favored, I would say, but I think Utah, the Utes, will come in at number four. I love the coaching they have. I think the Pac-12 is honestly more of an easier division. It's a shit show right now. We don't even know what's going on with it. I just totally but rip that. My bad, but. It's a you never know where people are going. You got people leaving left and right. I just think the Utes. I think it's their turn. I think it's their time. They have that quarterback coming back, Cameron Rising. I think he's a beast. And then for the championship game, I do think that it's going to be Alabama and Ohio State, same as you. I personally have Alabama winning, though. I think Will Anderson is the best defensive player in all of college football. He had 17 and a half sacks last year. Dude's a monster. He's going to probably be the number one overall pick, depending on what NFL team has it that needs a quarterback. But if it's a team that doesn't need a quarterback, 100%, he's the number one overall pick. And I think Bryce Young is the better quarterback out of CJ Stroud. He had 4,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions last year with not as much elite weapons as CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had two top 12 wide receiver picks in the NFL draft last year with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. And all Bryce Young had was one, Jameson Williams. I mean, he had John Mitchie, who was like a second or third round pick, but still. He had less, but did more. So I don't
Yeah.
see a world where having the best defensive player and, in my opinion, the best offensive quarterback in the league, I don't see where they lose.
Yeah.
Um, so that's going to be our college football playoffs and championship predictions. We're now going to go ahead and transition over to the conference winners. Derek, I'll have you start it out if you want to just let us know who you got for the
Yeah. So
conference
we'll
winner.
start. We'll go alphabetical order. We'll go ACC.
Okay.
So ACC, I got Clemson. I mean, I think you have the same thing, right?
Yeah, I have Clemson as well, so we can sugarcoat that one.
Yep. And then let's see, what do we got here? Big Ten. I think it's Ohio State this year. I do know Michigan's the defending champions, and my wife is a big Michigan fan, so she's not gonna like this at all. But I think the fact that Ohio State Michigan game is in Ohio now, I think the way they got beat last year is gonna sting with Ohio State. They've got that lingering, uh, lingering. What's the word here? I'm looking for, Jimmy. Pain. That lingering pain from last year because they got their butts beaten last year against Michigan. It wasn't even close.
Hey, go ahead, rub it in.
I'm rubbing it in.
Yo, shout out to Dakota.
Shout out Dakota. That game really wasn't even close. I do think now that it's going back to Columbus this year. I don't think it's even going to be close. I think that they're going to beat them by probably 2 touchdowns if both teams are fully healthy. Plus, Michigan lost a lot. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. They lost David Ojabo. They lost Hassan Haskins, had 5 touchdowns in that game. Where are they going to find the touchdowns to score against Ohio State this year? I don't see it. So, do we have Ohio State? You got the same thing?
Yes, I regretfully have Ohio State. Dakota, if you ever watch this, I absolutely hate Ohio State, though. I know I got your stupid flag right there, but just let the record know, Wisconsin, that's in my heart. But I'm going to pick Ohio State, man. They got the best overall team. You know, they have better everything when it comes to that. And the Big Ten, I would say, is more of like a soft division or conference when it comes to like the high-end teams. I mean, SEC has Georgia. You know, they're right there, but no one really besides Michigan, you know, maybe Michigan State or Wisconsin will compete with Ohio State. So, yeah.
Agree. Do agree.
Okay, and then
we're gonna go.
Where you want?
Pac-12?
Yep, Pac-12. Go ahead with that.
My Pac-12 winner. I mean, I got the jersey on, baby. I got the Oregon Ducks. First year coach Dan Lanning. If you remember, Dan Lanning was the defensive coordinator for the national champion Georgia Bulldogs last year. He knows how to coach defense, and that's actually our strong suit, which is kind of weird to talk about Oregon having their strong suit being their defense. We have 2 inside linebackers. One, Noah Sewell, his brother, Panay Sewell, went to Oregon as well. Is now a first-round draft pick with the Detroit Lions. Pretty good rookie season last year. So they have him. They have Justin Flo as an inside linebacker. He's a stud. He just cannot stay healthy. He's only played one game in 2 years. And if they stay healthy, I think that defense can be really good. Really, really good. Who you got?
For the Pac-12, I did pick the University of Utah, the Utes, to finish as number 4, made the college football playoff. So with that being said, I have them winning the Pac-12 as well. I think Utah is just gonna storm. I think Oregon's gonna be definitely competitive. I know they're playing at Oregon, second to the last week before the end of the season, but I really feel like the Utes have better. They retained a lot more, I feel like, than most teams did because they're more of a younger team, and I think their defense is elite. I think they're going to be solid. So they have a great coaching staff too. Yeah, so that's going to wrap up our conference winners. Except for, let's go ahead and throw in a dark horse though. I'll let you go ahead and start. If you had to pick one team, any conference that could potentially, win the conference, who would you pick and why?
I feel like a dark horse, even though I have Alabama winning at least getting into the top 4, winning the SEC, ultimately being the number 1 team in there. I do have Texas A&M. Texas A&M, I think, is a really good dark horse. They had the number 1 recruiting class this upcoming year. I think Jimbo Fisher's a phenomenal coach, and I think that whole dispute this offseason with Nick Saban might light a fire in him. I think he's got something to prove as a coach because they have recruited well the past couple of years, but they haven't had anything to show for it. I think the most of the wins that they've had is 8 in the past 2 years, and they've recruited very well. So I do think that this year is like a put up or shut up for Jimbo.
All right, I agree. I think that's a good one. So to piggyback with dark horse, then I think my dark horse, it wouldn't really be a college sports conversation without me at least rooting for my team somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the University of Wisconsin, the Badgers. That's gonna be my dark horse team. I personally think that we have one of the greatest coaches defensive wise in college football. We have Paul Christ. He is a legendary defensive coach. We had the best defense last year in all of college football. Believe it or not, we allowed the least amount of yards and the least amount of points in a game. Just because, we don't have an offense doesn't mean that we're a bad team. I feel like Braylon Allen is a 20-year-old running back for the University of Wisconsin. Wisconsin loves to churn out those running backs. Melvin Gordon, James White, Jonathan Taylor. Dude's a stud. Braylon Allen was 19 last year and had 1,700 yards and 12 touchdowns as a freshman. He's coming back. He's going to be bigger than ever. He's 6'2", 240. Dude's a beast. So that's going to be my dark horse. I think that could win it. I also think that Keanu Benton, he's the interior defensive line for the Wisconsin. I'm telling you right now, you're going to hear his name a lot this year. We only lost 2 linebackers out of all of our defensive starters last year. No one else really got drafted of any importance. So I really do believe that Wisconsin has a really good chance, at least for sure, winning the Big Ten West. That's for sure. But we'll see about Ohio State. Maybe C.J. Stroud gets hurt here and there, and then we go ahead and slide on in. Yeah. Oh. Stroud, go ahead. ACL, baby. Don't let me hurt. Don't let it hit your way on the way out. All right, so we got the conference winners in the bags then.
If only Ohio State had Quinn Ewers backing them up.
They don't.
He took that NIL money and
hey, for real. I wish Wisconsin would pump out some NIL defense. You can't, bro. I'm telling you right now, if we had even a half decent quarterback, all we have Graham Mertz right now is a 4-star quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but it's the first 4-star quarterback we've had since Russell Wilson transferred. All right, so we're like, as soon as the University of Wisconsin, they see a 4-star quarterback who probably wouldn't even be a fifth bench rider for Alabama or something like that. He's automatically the starter in our organization. It's just how it goes. If we had anyone decent at quarterback with our running back and our defensive unit, oh man, I feel like we'd be solid, but we don't. Going on to the next segment, then we're going to talk about Heisman winners. Derek, I know you have Ohio State as your big dog winning it all, so let me know who your Heisman winner is.
I do. So I got C.J. Stroud winning it. He's thrown to too many weapons. His numbers are going to be inflated in a good way for him. Like I said earlier, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming. I mean, those guys, great pass catchers. All you got to do is watch the Rose Bowl from last year and see what Stroud did throwing to Smith-Njigba. In the Rose Bowl, Smith-Njigba had 4 touchdowns, 300 yards.
Yeah, he was a stud.
I mean, that guy's unbelievable. So I do have C.J. Stroud.
Dude's a stud. All right, so with my Heisman winner, I'm gonna pick Bryce Young. I know C.J. Stroud right now is the favorite in the sports books. He's at about a plus 250 right now, which is a pretty good bet. But I got Bryce Young with plus 400. I mean, again, it just goes back to the fact that last year he had less and still had more yards and more touchdowns than C.J. Stroud. I think people are just overlooking it because, actually, I don't even know why people are overlooking C.J. Stroud or giving C.J. Stroud so much more credit, in my opinion. I mean, Bryce Young he had to play against the Georgia defense last year and still had a great game. He had more yards, more touchdowns, and a better passer rating, which you know me, I'm all about that passer rating. So I think Bryce Young at plus 400 is a solid bet. Do you have any other Heisman winners that you like in regards to like the odds, like more of like deeper ones?
Yeah, so I was looking at the odds earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I love Will Anderson plus 3,000. The best.
Oh, I love that one.
The best defensive player in the country. Excuse me.
Yep.
At plus 3,000, why not sprinkle a little bit of money on that?
He was a runner-up last year.
I mean, you have to. You have to put him up there. And then also, I got Jackson Smith-Njigba because I am talking so highly of him. He's at plus 5,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you saw what he did in the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All those yards, all those catches. Who's to say that he can't separate from any of these Big Ten corners this year?
Oh yeah, that dude's gonna eat. He's gonna eat for sure. But yeah, to pick back what you said, I think Will Anderson would be my favorite dark horse. I mean, he was literally the runner-up last year, and then they're not even gonna respect the fact that he stayed. He's still in there, and he's now plus 3,000. I just don't see it. If you're a runner-up or a top 3 the year before, you should at least be a top 5. He's not even close to that. I just love that. I love the plus 3,000. Okay, so you want to, okay, what's next? What's next? Let me look. We're going on bet predictions next. So from here on out, we're going to be talking about college football bets. We're going to be talking about total wins and conference. We're going to decide who we think is going to win with the conference. We'll give you the odds as well. And then we'll go ahead with a couple of our total wins. We're going to be getting these numbers off of FanDuel, FanDuel.com. That's where we're going to be pulling the wins and the odds from. So Derek, I'm going to let you go ahead and start. You can decide if you want to do a conference winner and their odds, or you want to do a total wins, and then let us know why. Go from there.
Yeah, so I don't have any conference winners. I don't like anything that I put money on. Maybe throw a little
Okay.
bit on Texas A&M just because the odds are so high. It's plus 1,800 on FanDuel right now.
Okay.
So if there was anything, I'd put it on that.
Mhm.
But as far as regular season wins, I got to start out with Michigan. They're at 9.5 right now at minus 110. I got to take the over because I don't see more than 3 losses from this team in the regular season. And again, this is all based off regular season wins. This is not
Yeah.
counting a conference championship game or potential bowl game. So this is just based off
Yeah.
regular season wins. Just get that out of the way. So 9.5, I don't see anything. I really don't. I think that they have a very, very weak non-conference schedule to start the season, and then I don't see anything really. I maybe see 2 losses. I definitely see one. Like I said earlier, Ohio State. I do think that they beat Michigan this year. The other one that maybe could happen is at Iowa. It's always a tough place to play. You got the great tradition of waving to the kids in the children's hospital. So I do think that that might be a trap game right there. But all of their tough teams, they have them at home, and I don't see it. I just don't see it happening. What do you got?
So my favorite bet, probably, and one that personally I will be doing is the odds are not the greatest, but they have Utah with the plus 8.5 wins. It's a negative 160, negative 160, which isn't the greatest, but still, 8.5 wins. You know, they play 12 games in a regular season. So if I'm looking at the schedule, all right, you got Southern Utah, which is a win, Arizona State, that's a win, San Diego State, Oregon State, Washington State, Stanford, Arizona, and Colorado. So it's already 8 wins right there. Like there, I don't see a world where they lose any of those 8. So now all you need is one more win to cover the spread within the following teams: Florida, Oregon, USC, and UCLA. Now I can see UCLA as a win. I can see Florida as a win, even though Anthony Richardson is a stud at the quarterback. But still, I can see a win. Even if I wanted to do USC with the recency bias, which I know you're going to go in depth about that a little bit more in a little bit. But even if I went with USC and then Oregon, since they are playing at home in Oregon, like I said, as 2 losses, you're still covering that by a game and a half. I just really, really, really don't see it unless there's something that I don't know. But I'm not. But 8 of the wins are already like a lock in my opinion. I just don't see why they have the same quarterback, the same coach, and they retain most of their roster. Like, what am I missing here? You know. So I'll be slamming Utah, slamming it.
Yeah,
It's my lock.
I like that. I do like that a
My
lot.
lock.
I do like that a lot. You kind of swayed me on that. I'm gonna throw it on there. I'm gonna throw that on my
I
bet
just
list.
don't see it. No, for real though. You got, like I said, Southern
I
Utah,
don't see
Arizona.
4 losses from that team in the regular season. I really don't.
Especially when 8 of them are from like low end schools that barely can
Yep.
produce 4 to 5 wins a year.
Yep.
I mean,
No, I agree.
like I said, they have to get one win from Florida, UCLA, Oregon, and USC. One win. They're gonna find one somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree with that. So for the next one that I like a lot, I like obviously since I have them in the college football playoff. Notre
mhm.
Dame's over under right now at minus 140 is 8.5.
Oh, it's
I
another
gotta
one.
take the over in that. Gotta
Another
take the
one.
over in that. And then I listed it off during the top 4 discussion. They play 3 teams all year. I don't see another team beating them. Their schedule is kind of weak aside from those 3 teams. Again, they start the season at Ohio State.
It's a
Middle of
loss.
the season, they're at home against Clemson. I do think that the at home
Mm,
aspect, playing at Notre Dame at night, totally different. Electric
yeah.
atmosphere, that place gets rocking.
Yeah, I'll give you
And
that.
the last game of the season in California at the Coliseum playing USC. So I don't see where 4 losses are coming from Notre Dame. I'm gonna hammer that bet.
Oh, it's the same as Utah, man. I just don't see it. I don't know what they're thinking over there in the sports books. I mean, Marshall, California, Stanford, Syracuse, Navy. Like, who are they losing to? That's a good one. All right, so you got that. I'm gonna go ahead and go on to my next bet. Then you didn't have a conference bet. I'm gonna go ahead and spiel the one I have. I think Ohio State's a lock for the Big Ten. When you look at other conferences like SEC, you could maybe see Georgia. You know, any given Saturday, you never know. But when you look at the Big Ten, I just don't see it. I really don't. So I have Ohio State. It's negative 200. You're not gonna make a lot of money. You throw $100 on there, you're gonna get 50 back. You can use that to hedge any other bet. All the next bets we're gonna be talking about going forward, we're gonna have a little bit less of the odds, be more risky, but then you just hedge it with the Ohio State. Like whatever you're risking, you just hedge it so that's what you're winning. And then worst comes to shove, you walk out of here with nothing. You know, even. So I love the Ohio State negative 200, even though I hate Ohio State. Dakota, if you're watching this, I hope you just dropped Thursday ACL. I hate Ohio State, dog. I hate them.
Hey, you know how we feel about it in our household, in the Lee household.
Yeah.
My wife
Yeah, we all hate it.
beat
Yeah.
him in the shoe last year. Suck it,
Yeah.
Dakota.
Yep. Hey, Dakota, use that money, man, from that lock I just told you Ohio State to actually go to Ohio. That's what you should do, my man.
All right, so for my next bet, I got Arizona under 2.5 wins at plus 140. They have not won more than 3 games, I think. What it was 2 years ago. So they won 1 game last year. The team is not good. Their non-conference schedule. They got Mississippi State. Then they got North Dakota State, and they got San Diego State. So it's a gauntlet right there. North Dakota State. I know they're FCS, but they are a powerhouse. They beat everybody in the FBS.
Yep.
And then as far as conference-wise, I see maybe one win there, and that's only a home game against Colorado. So
Yeah.
I love that at plus money, under 2.5 wins for a team that only won one last year. I know that they've recruited well. This new coach, Jed Fish, he's from the New England Patriots coaching tree and everything with Bill Belichick, but I just
Yep.
don't see it this year.
Sweet, that's a good one. That's a good last bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up then to my last bet. So normally when over years of experience, when you do sports bets, you kind of notice little tendencies, trends, things like that. So over here, when you look at FanDuel, they have Wisconsin. I'm gonna talk about Wisconsin again, but they have them winning the Big Ten West at a plus 600 odds or negative 600 odds, which is pretty favorable, as I would say. But then they turn around on the sportsbook total wins and they have it at plus 9, not 9.5, just straight 9. Whenever I see whole numbers, I'm more comfortable with that just because it's more of a hedge. When it's a 0.5, it's either you win your money or you win money or you lose money. There's no in between. When it's at a whole number, though, you can win, lose, or you can get your money back. With that being said, Wisconsin, with 9 wins, I have them winning at least 10 games. In my opinion, if you look at their schedule, let me look it up real quick. They got Wisconsin. Yeah, 1 second. They got so right here we play Illinois State, Washington State, and then NM State. That's 3 wins right there. Then we play Ohio State. I see Ohio State as a loss, 100%. But then we turn around after a loss. We turn around. We have Illinois and Northwestern. I think that's another 2 wins, so it puts us at 5-1. Then we play Michigan State. If I'm being nice, I'll just say it's a loss. That's 5-2. Then you go Purdue and Maryland. That's 7-2. Then we play Iowa, and that's a toss up as well. So then we're 7-2. All I need is 2 more wins. We play Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota. Minnesota and Nebraska are both good teams. Iowa's the one I think we have more trouble on. So that puts us at 10 wins right there. So I just don't see a world where we really lose 3 games. And if we do lose 3 games, though, you get your money back. It's not like you're losing anything. I don't see a world where we lose 4. Losing 4 wins, I would be upset. We're the best defense in the league. I mean, when you have one of the top, I would surprise say top 5. When you have a top 5 defense, you're gonna win games one way or another. And a good running back. You can control the clock, you control the game. You'll end up turning out some wins. So that's gonna be my dark horse pick right there as well. I'm gonna go Wisconsin. Plus, it has favorable odds. It's plus 110. So all the sports books thinks Wisconsin's gonna lose under 9 wins. I don't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna smash that as well. I'm gonna back it up with that Ohio State to win their conference negative 200. That'll hedge my bet. So with that being said, I think it's gonna wrap up our video today. YouTube, appreciate you guys dropping in, watching the video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below. You got my man Derek right here. I'm about to turn it over to him. I want you guys to know the one last thing from me. I appreciate everything. Our first video was just posted a couple days ago. There's a couple feedback. I had a couple people message me as well, giving me additional feedback, and we love it. We're not experts here, so only our second video ever. We don't know what you guys want, what we need to improve. So please let us know. Keep commenting in that comment section. Let us know. Share it to all your family and friends. We're trying to help grow this thing. If you have any ideas as well, something you want us to talk about next, please drop in the comment section. We can't read minds. Just let us know. So that's going to be my it for here. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my co-host Derek, and he's going to finish us off. Derek.
Yeah, thank you all for the support on the first video. Like I said, we're just starting out, so please feedback, please. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Let us know what you love, so we keep doing it. Anything like that. And as always, go Ducks.
No, go Badgers. Yes, sir.